just remind ourselves as to how they're lining up here. As our referee Ben Thaler, Liam Moore will be our video referee. So the teams are like this. St Helens, well, Lachlan Coote is back at fullback, the Great Britain and Scottish international, and Jack Welsby switches to the centres in the continued absence of Mark Percival. Otherwise, very much first choice for that excellent St Helens side. Leeds are missing, as we said, an entire backline. Tom Briscoe is the only first choice in the position he plays in that backline. Two back rowers, Rhys Martin and Cameron Smith, are in the halves. Sets up a tantalising possibility here for how they approach this game. Ben Thaler, as we said, the referee here, and if and when we need him, Liam Moore in the video booth as well. So a big weight of responsibility on Rhys Martin's shoulders here today. The Papua New Guinean international is going to get us underway in terms of his usual role and his goal kicking, but also his kicking from hand as well in that pivot position. Off we go. How does this one unfold from here? The first step to Wembley 2021 for these two sides. Leeds, of course, are the holders. St Helens haven't won this famous old trophy since 2009, and they think it's high time they got back and won it again. Alongside me, Brian Noble and Jamie Peacock. And Jamie, first of all, I'm fascinated, you've been in and around the camp this week. I'm fascinated how you think Leeds are going to approach this game, given their lack of craft and guile around the halves.
Thanks, Woody. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. I think Leeds' approach is going to view it as an obstacle to overcome. Look forward to the challenge. The game plan's going to be different to what they would normally have. It's not going to be game plan A or B, it's game plan X. Different players in different positions, but for me it's all about believing they can win, and also doing the basics exceptionally well, running hard, kicking hard, putting the ball in the right areas at the right time. So I have every belief that Leeds can go on and win this.
Yeah, I'm absolutely clear they can as well, but they're going to have to be really dedicated in relation to looking after the ball, making sure that some coaches out there would think having that many forwards on the field is a massive advantage, so backs can't mess up Jamie's game plan X. So I think it is a tough challenge. They're going to have to kick well, they're going to have to run the ball well, particularly vigorously against this Saints team, but they are playing a determined and a successful Saints team, a team with a lot of confidence at the moment, so they're going to have to get all the little things in, play by play, kick by kick.
And there's Leeming with a little chip over the top, a little tantaliser. It's a difficult one. Well, could have been for Lachlan Coote, but it rolls out of play, and it'll be a tap back under 20 for St Helens, and a 7 tackle count from here.
I think that could be one of the issues for Leeds, is the weight of the kicks, no specialised kickers within the team. That's something they're going to have to overcome if they want to beat St Helens today, who are the benchmark within the competition, have been for the last 2 years.
Makinson with a carry. Roby's just rolling up at dummy half, very much in the veteran stage of his career. And now Nagama. So down on the touchline, Robbie Hunter-Paul, what do you say?
You know, looking back 10 months ago, I think 19 months ago, we saw Leeds Rhinos take on Wigan Warriors here, and it was Cruz Leeming. I think in the opening 40 minutes of the game, he carried the ball 22 times. That opening set, he did once again carry the ball in the opening set. There's no reason why he can't get out acting half with Brad Dwyer on the bench. You've got two of the most dynamic number 9s in the game, and they need to run out acting half as much as possible today.
Here's Nagama with a ball to Makinson, and Makinson, who knows how to finish from that kind of range, and has got it down. Just managed to shake Jack Broadbent off. And if St Helens were going to be challenged today, well, they've just offered their very own challenge inside the opening 3 minutes. And it's Tommy Makinson, the try scorer.
Well, I think we get a view here of what Leeds are up against in relation to the number of forwards in their lineup, particularly in their outside backs lineup. Here we go, it's a shift play from Saints. They're moving the ball quickly, teeth into the line fast, and he releases Nagama one-on-one, and they've got a lot of time to make up there. Makinson still has to finish it. They get Leeds jumpers in the frame, but that's the speed. They hung back a little bit there, did the Rhinos defence, and Nagama one-on-one on the outskirts there, just strips his player, and Makinson has a one-on-one to finish, and he's too good from there.
It's a quality finish again from Makinson. He's the best in the competition, you would say, at finishing in those tight areas with a couple of defenders in and around him. I expect the full-back to do a little bit better with the tackle as well, but it's typical Saints, very well organised, very slick team. Everybody knows what they're doing, there's clarity, they run hard. great try and a great start for St Helens.
So the chat behind the line already for Leeds, and Saints already with their confidence flowing. And just to remind you, the size of the task here is that we get used to eulogising about St Helens' attack, but it's their defence which has been just as impressive at the start of this year and at the end of last year.
Well, I was with JP at the start of the show. You know, we can ramp and we can roll our way towards the Saints line if you're a Leeds team trying to manufacture a performance. But how are you going to get over the line? And you see Makinson's effort at the kick there.
There we go, not bad. Typical style. He's got a bit of a, in this Masters weekend, he's got a bit of a fade on that kick, hasn't he? And it looks as though it might be starting too far left.
So Leeds will have the tough stuff. They'll rock and roll down to their end of the field. And then my big question mark is for JP in relation to their belief and their strategies. Are you going to get over the line as well? Is that a kick play? Is that a trick play? What's Richard Agar got up his sleeve that can release some of this talent that's still in this Leeds team?
I think Leeds just need to create momentum through the middle of the field, a quick play of the ball, use Cruz, Lehman, Brad Dwyer. But they need to defend better. Let's see how they do in this set here.
So St Helens looking to make up the yards. 3-4 men of the tackle. It's Roby at dummy half. Plenty left and right, but it's a slow play, the ball. So that's just allowed Leeds a little extra bite to come forward and meet again. Roby. But Fage to his right. Wormsley's pawing the ground. He wants to go, and Wormsley smashes in and is well met. Roby again. Lomax calling for the ball to go his way. It's eventually worked across there to the number 6. Here is Thompson. One of the new signings for St Helens. They've not gone big on new signings, but they've signed quality, and Thompson's one of them for this new season. But Roby's ramped up and put down. So a good hounding approach from the Leeds defence here. They're already on at the 6th, so the kick goes out from dummy half. Broadbent with a catch, and the quality of that defensive effort means that Leeds here will start their set on the 40-metre mark.
Yeah, they upped the intensity for sure there, and I thought the forwards handled Alex Wormsley a lot better than they did in the open couple of sets there. 2-3 plays in. He's a talisman for the St Helens side. He's a player that you need 3 or 4 players. From my experience of tackling him, I think he's one of the most difficult players I ever had to tackle during my career. A very good player.
Yeah, this horrible ex-certificate vision of Mark Chapman being in front of him there. As we were saying on the show, at the top of the show, don't do it, chappers.
The question was asked about, has anybody ever tackled metalwork fired from a cannon? You used to do that before breakfast every morning, didn't you, Jeremy? That was your waking up routine, wasn't it, back in the day? Here's leaning. 6th tackle coming up. So an attacking finish to the set here. It's Miller who puts a little kick in, and nobody bothers chasing because that's too deep. And it means again that St Helens gets 7 tackles starting back on the 20-metre.
Yeah, that's another example of what JP alluded to there. You've got to have a bit of touch on your kicks to keep them at this end of the field. You don't give this team in white 7 tackles from the middle there.
I think they had the right idea. They were running it to the corners then, and someone decided to kick. I think the better option is to run it and take the tackle and have a slow play the ball, make it controlled. That will allow them to establish better field position than they've got at the moment.
Here's Bentley trying to work a position, but again well harried by that Leeds defence. Roby out left to Wormsley again, who's carrying the marks of the sponsors on his body from earlier falls. Roby again, little shooting run from acting half. Across comes that defence. Cameron Smith, third man in to make sure that progress is limited and that Roby has to climb from the floor. Wormsley again. A big dummy and a big step, but he's actually gone backwards in the end. There's the 5th, here comes the last. Roby waits, back to Fage. Fage puts it steepling high. Broadbent, the fullback, the young fullback, is not going to get there. Makinson did and keeps it alive, but there was a handling error there. It went forward, and so Saints get it back. But there's danger there again, isn't there, with that high kick the way Makinson got there.
Yeah, they're kicking to the right man in Makinson, and when you watch Saints, I just enjoy watching them. It's all calm, controlled, composed.
Tell you what, Tetevano did not put a shot on Theo Fage there. Theo Farr was looking to Ben Thaler, the referee, saying, "You're going to help me out here." He said, "No, get on with it, mate. Play a shot."
Well,
that's the reason why they signed Tetevano. They wanted somebody, an emotional leader, somebody could inspire by his deeds, by as much as his words. And from the games I've seen this so far for the Rhinos, he's done that.
Well, there's a head knock here. Sione Matortia is just having a little bit of treatment on the field, and I think they're going to bring him off, I think, for the head inspection.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago he was off, wasn't he? Remember, he tried to tackle Polio for Salford and came off and was missing for a couple of weeks.
And he comes to the sidelines, and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook will take his place. So Leeds start from deep.
Wait, Luke, just wait there, mate. Let's wait. Everybody get on.
We're okay again. So Leeming stands and waits, and Leeds looking to force the issue again here. Holders, of course, 6 finals since 2010 Leeds. They've got real pedigree in this competition, and they can point to a form guide of having won their last 3 Challenge Cup ties against St Helens. But to balance that out, St Helens can say that they've actually won their 6 games in Super League against Leeds. So one way or another, you can prove a point with a stat. Leeds up towards halfway. So looking vibrant.
It's a good way to play.
6 again.
Creating space.
6 again, just holding down too long. It's the rule that we saw introduced last year. Instead of giving a penalty, the referee waves another set of 6. So Leeds have got the advantage here to try and get further down there. Tetevano with the carry. Leeming. Just holding. Waiting again. Slowish. Right it goes. Here comes Pryor. Matt Pryor. Well, they're eking out ground. They're eking out the yards. Leeming comes to this left-hand side again. It's going to be taken by Tetevano. Back to where it came from. Leeming, the Swaziland-born hooker. Smith left to Walters, and Said's defence showing why it's so well rated at the moment. 5 tackles gone. Here comes the last. Big drive in again here from Aleshki, who's got there. Has he got him down? The referee thinks he has. Yes, he has. Well, Nikolai Aleshki simply bludgeoned his way over, and Leeds have a quick response.
Route 1, Rugby League Route 1, that was scoring the try. Nikolai Aleshki doing what he does best by taking the ball, running hard, spinning out of the tackle and scoring. I think Leeds had success there by working the same area over and over again. If you're playing a lot of forwards within the game, the best way to do that is pick on a particular player from the Saints side, make him make 3 or 4 tackles.
Well, this is definitely Route 1. Leslie's going, I'm going, and before that we had Pryor on Route 1, we had Tetevano on Route 1, so we've got a lot of Route 1 today, and do you know what? It works. You get that determined outlook about yourself, you ground the floor out, and you pick on a certain player, and you get your rewards. Now, that was a prime example of what Leeds need to do this afternoon to not only stay in this game, but to get one of those results where as a coach and as a team you're thinking, yeah, this can work, and when it's in action and it works, you think, how did that work?
Well, I hope Leeds realise they do need to stick to this. That's the way that it's going to work from. That's the way it's going to win. It suits forwards. Stay in the middle. Just run with the ball. Simple.
Martin looking to add the 2, which he does on a regular basis. And over it goes for 6 points apiece.
Just speaking about Nikolai there, they feel he's got a big future at the club. You know, I feel this could be a great year for him. Wonder where he could push towards the World Cup squad as well. And it's a big game for him to show what he can do against the best prop in the game at the moment, Al Walmsley.
So there's a young fella on Saints side as well. Is it Matty Lees? You'd put him in the same category as Aleczki, wouldn't you? They're 2 props who are. Sean Wayne's obviously watching on. He might just be catching Sean Wayne's eye this year ahead.
I just think it's good news for England. We've got some good young forwards coming through to replace some of the older ones that have retired. It's going to be exciting to see what they can do in the World Cup.
So taken safely enough, and here comes Pryor again. So 12 minutes play. 6 points apiece. Don't forget that it's part of a double-header here today, because Catalan Wakefield coming up on BBC 2 a little bit later. All you have to do is switch channels. Once upon a time you used to have to get out of your chair, Brian, didn't you? Walk across the living room and press a button. These days you can just do it with your handheld set.
Well, there you go. You see that confrontation again there. Aleczki and Walmsley.
Tetevano takes it in. Leeming stands and waits. Saints prepared for this next wave of attack. Martin looking for a little chip over the top, but it's an easy take for Regan Grayson. Here's a bit of danger because he can fly and skip and just sashay away from all comers, but taken well enough by Leeming on that occasion.
And I think that's what Leeds have to be careful of, the end product on their sets. I think they just got to leather the hell out of the ball, get it down the other end of the field, or get some height on it so they can get defenders down there. Somebody's jumped the line there. I think it's Walters, the boy Walters, has jumped the line for the penalty. So giving Saints free field position by not executing their kicks properly is probably Leeds' biggest challenge.
You want to be defending St Helens in that half, there's no doubt about that, and they had a good set finish with just a poor kick. You can't get away with too many of these kicks against a good side like against St Helens, because now we're going to push the ball around here and really test Leeds' decision making with players in different positions. That can be their Achilles heel in this game.
Well, here's Kyle Amor, who's on the field from the interchange bench with an early carry. Roby stands 20 metres, options right and left. It's McCarthy Scarsbrook who goes flying in this time. So Saints offering a test here. Roby again, suddenly they all scamper to this right-hand side, fires back to Lomax, who's covered a lot of ground. It's read by the Leeds defence, but only enough for it to be knocked down, and another set of 6 here for Saints. But there was a lot of motion, a lot of movement there from Saints.
Yeah, he had to make the play then. If he didn't make that play, it was going to be a walking try, or maybe the ball over the top. That's something Saints will look at, because he came a very, very long way in then from the centre position.
Yeah, there's a couple of things there. I think Saints have to be careful that they try and do the tough stuff first. So they've seen a lack of outside backs amongst this Leeds team, and maybe thinking, let's go on the outside, let's go on the outside, let's go on the outside first, but you've got to go horse before the cart, you know.
Thompson down on 1. Roby stands and waits. 5 more attacking moves here for St Helens to try and put on. McCarthy Scarsbrook will try and use the brute force method of getting over, but a stride or two away. Roby stands again. Now it's with Lomax. Lomax right up to the line, inviting the defence to try and make up its mind as to what's happening next, but it's Thompson who's tackled. Roby, Lomax, across to Farge, inside for Amor. Amor, the Irish international, with a push and a real surge. Leeds are battling hard, but Saints, they just look like a team with loads of options in this attacking position, and here's one of them with Thompson, who's going to be held up just short. Last play to go. Roby again with a duck and a dive, and he's very close, but he's held up by the Leeds defence, and they will get the ball back 10 metres out.
I think if Leeds are going to cause an upset today, that's the kind of defence they're going to have to need. You know, held them out for 10, 12 tackles there. A lot of grit, a lot of determination.
I thought it was a super defensive set. Answered a lot of questions. The further forward they have to come, just for our viewers, is on the fringes, particularly when you're not comfortable in that position, the harder and more nervous you get, and I think they handled that set really well.
There's Briscoe with a carry. 15 metres away from his own line, and Leeming, who's got plenty of sprightliness about his game, punching a few extra. Luke Briscoe on the other side, brother of Tom. There's a few familial links today. 2 brothers on the field, and 2 young fellas on the interchange bench for Leeds. Jared O'Connor and Morgan Gannon. It doesn't seem that long ago that their dads were lighting up Super League in various guises, but they could be thrown into the action at some point. We're really looking forward to seeing Morgan Gannon, by the way, for the future of Rugby League's future, because he's only 17 years of age, but so highly rated. Leeming with a kick out of dummy half, and it dribbles out of play. Lachlan Cook happy to see it go that way, because Saints will get it back just about on their own 10-metre line.
I think 15, 16 minutes into the game now, if you're a Leeds side, you'd be happy where it's at. Saints knew it'd be a difficult start, with the forwards running through the middle from the Rhinos. I think it's a good, evenly contested cup competition so far, cup game.
There's Nagama, almost certainly be starting for Fiji in the World Cup at the end of the year. And Roby, who could well be wearing an England shirt. Now it's McCarthy Scarsbrook again. You can hear the thud. You hear physicality as bone hits bone. 6 again, so another set for Saints to work on. Thompson. 15 away from the halfway line, just over. Roby again. Amor now. Oh, it's well met. Matt Pryor takes some of that, Kyle. Amor's quick to his feet and just a little bit of a push there. Regaining a little bit of machismo.
Hold the 10 and wait.
Roby. Lomax left. And this is he. And now with a pass time for Thompson, but a bit of a juggle. Roby resumes the roll. Lomax looks as though he's taken a bit of a winding there as well. Looks a little bit hurt. He's going to be okay. It'll take a few seconds just to shake off the damage of that last big hit. It's with Coote, left-footed high. Chased by Grace. Should be an easy one for Broadbent. Ooh, he just joggled a little. But he's taken it safely in.
Well, if Saints didn't know they're in for a challenge this afternoon, they certainly do now after 17 or 18 minutes. This is tough, and a penalty to Leeds, which will give them a leg up out of their own half. So they've got to get used to that. Saints are going to have to get their heads around. There's some tough stuff to do here first before they go to anywhere near the points board.
And I think any side is beatable. We all know that in sport, don't we? There is benchmarks and they're always beatable. The question you level with Saints, they've lost a number of physical players from last year. James Graham being one of those. Luke Thompson going to the NRL. Morgan Knowles, a wonderful player, not playing today. And I think if Leeds can get St Helens anywhere through that physicality, making it intimidating, making it intense, making the Saints players look when they're carrying the ball. Who's coming in from the purple to tackle me today? How much is it going to weigh?
How much does it weigh?
A lot. Enough that I never want to play again.
So Leeds trying to keep it mobile. Saints defence is quick. Off the mark, closing things down. Leaning. Waiting here at the feet of Waters to get another set of 6. So there's encouragement for the visiting team because they can put a real attacking shape to the next 3-4 plays here. It's with Pryor. Just twisting and turning and gaining ground and setting up position. Sucking in 3-4 defenders. Leaning. Just pushing away. Bentley's attempted tackle and going right and almost opening the door. Sutcliffe is put down, but quickly again. Martin. 3 of them. Hand him down and put him down. Leaning. Less than 8 to go. Back inside to Cameron Smith, the pivot in inverted commas today, or one of them, and 1 play to go. This is Leaning. He's got plenty of runners, tries to work a passage himself there, trick his way through, but he can't. He's going to go down. Saints will get it back, and I think we might have some injury news down on the touchline. Tanya.
Yeah, problems for St Helens. Matty Leeds came off with an injured left ankle. He's got his boot off, ice on it, and he's unlikely to come back on this afternoon.
That's an early blow for Saints, isn't it? That's one of their props. Interchange props gone.
There's another big bopper out of the way in an afternoon where they're going to need everyone they've got, because Pryor and Ledsky and Martin and Tidevano, they're leading the way here, bashing the white jumpers, but they've still got to be careful of the quality. We saw Cruz Leeming run the ball on last play there, which is not a bad result. 5 metres out from the line, they're handing all the ball in the right place.
I think Cruz Leeming's enjoying this, watching him play. He's in charge in the middle. There's no half-back telling him what to do. He's running the plays, and his forwards are creating space for him. They've got intent in a lot of the things Leeds are doing. Saints showing the championship's qualities, riding it out.
The thing about Saints as well is you can expect them to score from 90 yards in, can't you? They have that ability, that flair, that magic, that taste.
They've just some wonderful players. They've got a great structure that they all understand, and they've just got high quality players playing within that structure as well, which makes for an incredibly dangerous side.
It's an awkward kick. It's not a 40-20. It was well outside the 40 from Lomax's boot, and it has given Leeds back possession, but time now for Saints just to shape up again in defence here.
It takes a lot of energy to play this way. It's not a simple thing to do for the team in purple, Leeds, so you'll get a lot of people running on and off and can't have a rest and can't have a rest to keep the kind of intensity and energy they'll need to maintain their challenge in and around the middle. And Saints will be waiting for that. They'll be waiting for their moment, because they're a clever and an astute team as well. They'll look to attack the weaknesses.
Yeah, more problems for St Helens, because Sione Matautia has failed his head assessment and will not be coming back this afternoon. So that's 2 forwards they've lost, St Helens.
Well, they're down to 15 players. And how long have we played? We're just about midway through this first half. This balances things out a lot, doesn't it?
Hugely. It makes a huge difference. You know, if you're looking for good omens as a Rhinos coach or a Rhinos fan, to have two forwards missing, and Leeds are playing all their tackling and all their plays through the middle. There are going to be some players do some big minutes out there for Saints, so towards the back end might get fatigued.
Donaldson down and up, and Leeming picks up and just looks for a scattered kick towards a touchline and finds it. So again, a controlled end to the set, which means that Saints get it back, but only 10 metres from their own line. So Matortia gone, Lee's gone. The bench that includes Lewis Dodd as well, the 19-year-old who's a scrum half, isn't he? So it's three forwards from the bench who'll be sharing the duties now. McCarthy, Scarsbrook, Amor and Ignatius Parsi, who's been missing for the last couple of weeks as well. So let's see how this unfolds. 6 apiece at the moment.
Well, if you were writing a script and the rugby gods had anything to play in this, you'd say Leeds have been in favour at the moment with the kind of rugby that they want to play.
And the fourth mistake from St Helens. So while we wait for this to reset, Robbie Hunter-Paul has some thoughts.
Yeah, just on that, looking at the communication with the Leeds Rhinos team, we're well past the 20-minute mark now, where fatigue normally kicks in, and that's one of the benefits of having two forwards playing in your halves. They can get together, they hit as hard as the forwards do. You effectively got 2 extra forwards as halfbacks in there, and you put that with Alex Miller in the centres as well. You got 3 extra forwards playing in the middle of the park. The communication with this Leeds Rhinos team, from an energy point of view, is absolutely brilliant.
Here comes Tetivano. The big galloping charge from him. And Leeming, again, in a slow base, looking to get things going again. It's in by Pryor, but it's a forward pass, and now it's Saints' turn to celebrate a mistake from their opponents, which hands slight advantage back to them again.
Yeah, this is like rolling thunder, isn't it? Leeds are the rolling thunder. What they're going to be careful is that Saints might be the streak lightning. So you know what I'm trying to say, Woodsy.
I know exactly
we've done this before.
Very good there, Brian.
Thank you.
I just think the Rhinos' belief in their game plan is increasing. It will be increasing. Richard Agar will have had to show them a game plan during the week. This is how we beat Saints. We've got lots of players out.
Oh, McCarthy Scarsbrook's lost it. Maybe that was an anticipation of what was coming his way. And look at this position again here for Leeds.
We had a look then.
6 again on the ball.
6 to go from here. Here's Alechki. Dragged himself over the line not that long ago and very nearly bust that line again. And it bursting at the seams. Here's Walters. One of the many ex-England Academy players on show from both sides today. Less than 8 as Smith gets to his feet, and Leeming comes out to Tetivano and Martin. They're trying to unpick that St Helens defence, but they're there in numbers. And Leeming waits again. Alechki to his left, but he's gone right to Martin, and Martin is held up by 3 very willing defenders there. So they're running out of plays, but they're still offering a real threat to Leeds here. It's a twist and a turn by Alechki, but they know him this time, and he's put down. 1 play to go. Here's Leeming. Queuing up on that right-hand side again, those Leeds players. They're trying to get numbers there, but the handling wasn't as crisp as it needed to be. And Saints survive, and the body language looks like they are a team who feel like they've just survived.
Tom Briscoe just wasn't as tall as he needed to be, because they'd opened up the door there in really. They had 5 bash plays, and then this ball here is just Tom. That's to the centre, isn't it? It's Alex Miller that gets his fingertips to it and takes it away from Tom Briscoe. But two men over there, so they can create space as well.
And I think for Saints now, the key is to complete. After the last 2 sets, they've had 2 soft errors, 2 easy errors. And with 2 players now not able to play, only 15 players fit. They need to complete as high as possible to finish this set, and a long kick down there and a great kick chase as well.
So look at possession. Leeds have got 52%. They'd have settled for that before the game. Just that slight advantage in that area. And a lot of it has been down at the end of the field that they want it to be. And even James Rovey is making handling mistakes. And again, Leeds have a set of 6 inside their opponent's half.
Well, I think that was a big man. I think the bashing Alex Walmsley, and I think he dropped the ball on playing it there, Dave. And
right.
I think that's another indication of what Leeds fancy doing to the Saints team this afternoon.
Just with Leeds as well in this set, they need to throw more at the Saints defence than they did in the last set of 6. They need to use Cruz Lehman. He needs to be running out of there with options with ball runners if they're going to create any kind of chaos or create at least a quick play the ball, which then they can go off the back of. That's how Mikelai scored his first try.
Nella. And a little scouting run from dummy half. Leaning. Brad Dwyer to inject his brightness into the game when he comes on at some stage as well. This is Tetavana, and he's left it behind, and now it's Saints' turn to pick up. And again, a big sigh of relief from those with Saints at heart, because that's a pass off the ground, but not from a completed tackle, so that's gained an extra yard as Roby carries well. Coote. Lachlan Coote. Just about the halfway line for Regan Grace. Welshman has got magic in his boots. Regan Grace, we've already seen some spectacular tries from that young man's career. And likewise this, Tommy Makinson, but it's all about gaining yards at the moment. Roby. Bentley. And a high tackle. Slipped above the shoulders there from Alex Miller. So a penalty for St Helens.
I think Bentley's been one of the great finds for St Helens. I think St Helens have got a good history of bringing players out of the lower division. Alex Walmsley being one of them, Bentley being another one coming from Bradford. And going for goal just speaks about how torrid I think Saints have found it out, and the respect they've got for the Leeds defence at the moment.
He's a Leeds lad, isn't he, James Bentley? He's Leeds born, isn't he?
He was at Bradford's Academy, wasn't he?
Bradford's Academy, yeah, but playing against his hometown team today.
I like him. He's got a great attitude about him, a very good work ethic. He reminds me of a kind of young John Bateman, really, yeah.
I think does he model himself on Bateman? He seems to have the same kind of style, same kind of walk, socks rolled down. It's not a bad bloke to model yourself on.
It's a great
one of the best back rowers in the world.
Yeah. I mean, he's developed from a player with great potential into a world-class player, so why not look up to him? Why not want to model himself on him?
So a chance for Tommy Makinson to add a second here. It's from distance, 35 metres out. This is not the easiest opportunity that his side have given him. But as you say, a reflection of the way the game has gone so far, that Saints select the 2 rather than a kick to touch and maybe land another 6 punches on that Leeds defence.
Cameron.
So Makinson gathering in his concentration. An empty ground means it's near silence as he prepares himself mentally for this. And he struck it well enough again. Starts it slightly left and fades it slightly right, and it has got the distance. And St Helens do poke their noses ahead again, just by 8 points to 6.
Well, there's an indication that Saints know they're in a game this afternoon. But maybe at the start, when they caught that first try, they'd be thinking, well, we're going to run the ball here, we're going to run the ball. After another 25 minutes of being bashed, they're thinking, no, we better get some points on the board here.
Well, I think Saints have just gone through a really sloppy period of about 10 minutes and come out of that period scoring 2 points and Leeds not scoring anything. So you'd be happy as that, within the game.
Martin with the restart, Makinson with the catch and the carry. And it's a familiar role he plays in that Saints side. He's not just a fancy finisher and a goal kicker, he's a very physical presence as well, bringing it out from the back. He's the all-round modern winger, isn't he, Tommy Makinson? He's got the lot, really.
Yeah, he's really dangerous, especially when he skims the line, when he's looking for an opportunity to get a fractured line. He's so quick and strong in his hits.
Yeah, he's 2 different types of carry. One where he comes like a bullet out of a gunner's head as a kind of defence line. Another line where he just skims across looking for lazy or weak defenders, and you package that with his ability to score tries in corner, kick goals. He's just an excellent player.
There's Walmsley. A crashing effort, but they're already on the 5th. So here comes the last play. Varge is being closed down, and closed down very well. But he does get a second one, and the ref says another set. Well, there's a bit of misfortune there from Leeds' point of view. Sam Walters got out very quickly, but Saints right there looking at another 6
The kick
tackles.
pressure was too good. Most coaches say get the kick pressure, but make sure you don't touch the ball. But he's about 6'7", 6'8", isn't he? So.
McCarthy Scarsbrook. That's a good strong carry. Plenty of metres after that initial contact. Roby back to Lomax, who's got the guile and the skip.
This feels like a pivotal set. This, I think if Saints can score right off, Leeds can hold them out.
Wormsley again, looking for the offload. Oh, he's given it away. He's given it away. Just a gamble too much from Alex Wormsley. And Leeds survive again here. And the frustration match, you'd imagine, Brian, for Saints at the moment.
Well, the longer the game goes on, it does. That's smart play. Understood that Warnes would be looking to promote the ball, offload the ball. I don't know whether it was Donaldson. Was it Donaldson? I can't see who it was.
There's Briscoe.
Jack Broadbent got himself in between the catcher and Wormsley and picked up the spoils, and that gives Leeds a chance to roll their thunder down with Lehman kicking out a dummy half. Great kick.
Oh, that's a good kick. Oh, and it just jacks back, and Grace will pick it up. It's interesting to note, by the way, that King Wuniyayawa is on the field as well for his Leeds debut, the Fijian, who's off the interchange bench. Wellesby.
There's another one of those big Fijians, Dave. We're looking forward to the Fiji team in the World Cup. They're going to have some steam themselves, and I think he came from the New Zealand Warriors, and he's expanding his game. He's got got big raps on him down at the Warriors.
Yeah. He managed 5 appearances for the Warriors last year, released at the end of 2020, but he was saying in the build-up he was more excited about this game than he's ever been for any game of rugby league in his life, to actually make his debut here today for Leeds. King Wuniyayawa. And here he is.
Just Saints are giving Leeds chance after chance today, aren't they? You don't normally see a Saints side like this, spilling the ball, for unforced errors coming out of their own half and giving Leeds opportunity to field position. This is where Leeds miss their halves, I feel. Bit of organisation, bit of direction.
Aiming out to Martin, and Martin goes wider still, and Broadbent, the fullback's injecting himself in the line, and it all ends with a tackle on Alex Sutcliffe, or at least momentarily, because back come Leeds again, and Leeming offers it up, and Tetavana will go slamming forward. Another of the new players this season in Super League, the New Zealand international. Leeming, 15 yards to cover, 15 yards for Saints to defend here. But there's only one play to go for Leeds. Leeming, skipping, and here's Reece Martin with a decent kick. It's a little bit too far. And Saints get away back with a tap back on the 20 again.
Well, I reckon Coach Agar's thinking 80% of this, 85% of this plan we're getting right. Now, if he's got to pick anything up at half-time, I'd say it's those short kicks near the line, 15, 20 metres out. They've kicked 3 now, dead in goal. And that'll eventually take its toll on this Leeds team.
Like I say, just put the ball through the hands, take it into the corner. If you get tackled in the corner, you get tackled in the corner. Slow conversion, and then get all the forwards wound up, ready to unload into the Saints forwards.
There's Parsi, Ignatius Parsi. He's left a man lying on the ground. What a carry that was. There's a bit of treatment required here.
3.
It's a monstrous run, wasn't it?
It was a huge first carry.
Beauty by the
What you want
beast.
off the bench.
He's just going back to check on the man he's left on the floor is okay. Have a look at this. Try and stop him if you can. Bang. Wuniyayawa, whose praises we were singing a little earlier, tried to get in the way. There's nothing wrong with his bravery, but he didn't quite have the size to stop him.
Well, by the looks of it, he might not remember his debut again. He might have another debut after this.
He's coming round, thankfully.
Well, there's a heap load of precautions these days, isn't there, when there's even a suspicion of a head injury or a back injury. Treatment is complete out on the field, and the medical staff are kings in this situation, aren't they? They take over. Referees, coaches, get out of the way. The medical staff have complete control here.
Yeah, you've seen a huge shift in I'd say the last decade in lots of sport, particularly in rugby league, with the protocols in place to look after injuries, and rightly so. With that, towards the back end of my career, saw the changes take place, and the players' safety is paramount.
It was some collision, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Iggy, they call him, Ignatius Parsi, the Tongan international. He's here for a couple of years. That player waiting to come back on as well. There's the coach, Christian Wolff. What a year last year, a grand final winner in his first year in charge. I think a lot of people will be making them favourites again to lead the push for another grand final this year, Saints. But it's the Challenge Cup that remains elusive for them.
Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it? 13 years now since a club this size have won it. It brings pressure, but I think this side really wants to do that. They've got the purpose about them to do that. Just speaking of Christian Wolff, I just think he's been fantastic for St Helens to come into a side that's already winning, not change too many players, but change the style and tweak it slightly, as he did. An emphasis on defence, which you've seen at the beginning of the season, and conceding 3 tries in 3 games.
Right there, please.
He's an outstanding leader of the Tongan team as well, isn't he, Christian Wolff?
Back on 3.
Coached them to victory over Australia, an unprecedented victory against Australia and Great Britain last autumn, and they'll be coming into the World Cup at the end of the year as one of the favourites to lift the trophy. Here's Lomax, times it superbly. Bentley's on the run, he's got support on the outside, he can't get it all out.
They weren't there with him quick enough. Bentley straight through the line.
Last play, over the head almost of Roby, but he takes it under control. Lomax with a measured little kick, but Tom Briscoe's there to catch and deliver it back towards where it came from. It's a good little recovery run from Tom Briscoe.
Yeah, he's a strong boy, Briscoe, isn't he? Makes meters after contact, keeps his legs pumping. You've got to be on the game with him, but great break from the Saints team. Just momentarily showing what they're capable. Bentley straight through, and for once, Nguama left behind, along with Makinson.
The Saints coach at half-time will have to be pointing out that Leeds' left-hand side, Saints' right-hand side is where they want to move the ball to. Every time they've gone down there, they've looked dangerous, they look like breaking the line at least. Scored a try down there already. Winning rugby league games is about being relentless. It's about seeing a weakness and just exposing it over and over and over again.
There's Barty with a kick outside the 14, but it spirals high. It really is a big kick, but it's taken by Coote, who's trying to bring it back into some space here. Cut down in his prime. Farge. Tommy Makinson skip in the air and then takes them on. Roby just waiting here. Another set of 6 because Cruz Leeming was hanging on far too long there. So there's the first of them. And Saints are going to have opportunity to put some kind of attack on at the end of this, whether it's a kick or a move, you would have thought, especially after a decent carry like that from Parsi. Right down the centre.
Parsi's looked incisive, hasn't he? Straight through the line. Here we go again.
The pass to Makinson is mistimed and miscued. And at times in this first half on attack, St Helens have miscued.
Well, it was, but it's just their skill that they don't execute properly. JP pointed it out. Let's have a crack at Leeds' left-hand side. There's a few of them working to their own agenda. And Lachlan Coote just can't quite find Makinson there. Misses out Nguama, but, yep, be relentless. There's your opportunity, Saints.
I think when you're an underdog and you want to win a game, you need the favourite to be slightly off. And I think we've seen enough signs in this first half that Saints are not going to be playing at 9 out of 10 this week. They're making some unforced errors.
They've had some big games in the Cup in the last couple of years, haven't they, where they've started as hot favourites. Catalan in the semi-final, Warrington in the final a couple of years ago, where you'd make Saints distinct favourites, and they failed to deliver. And is this another little case of Cup collywop wobbles here? Well, they take advantage of some leads at mishandling on that occasion. McCarthy Scarsbrook is proving an awkward customer. Eventually, they close the deal. Another set of 6. The referee says so. A little bit too overworked by the Leeds defence.
Well, this is a big minute and a half for this Leeds team.
Roby caught in possession. Neatly pinned. Going nowhere. Farge again. Back it comes, and here comes Parsi again, and again it's a carry that's causing consternation amongst the Leeds defenders. Sheer physicality there. Roby spins left to Fars. Fars back on the inside to Amor. Amor puts a big Cumbrian step on to try and get through those defenders that approach, but he can't get there. Roby, 5 away, less than that now. Again the numbers are moving, and Parsi goes for that direct approach again. It's worked further downfield, and it's got him over the line, but he's not going to touch it down. Too many bodies to keep that ball above ground. But Saints have more options here. They'll play it back on the 10-metre line. They'll keep hammering at this Leeds defence. Roby, Lomax, back to Cook. Cook with a lovely little kick towards the corner. Luke Briscoe just about gets there for Leeds. And puts it away, and there's only 20 seconds to play, so they might not get to the dropout here.
They've done the job there, especially Luke Briscoe, because they had the numbers, Saints, again. They had a 3-on-1 at one point there, and decides to go for the kick play, and I'm thinking, keep it in hand, and it's a walk-in from the Guamo. He's making some, see there, it's not a look, and Briscoe's tucked, and there's an opportunity wasted again, so I think coach is going to be trebly disappointed. He's going to be having a proper word with them.
Well, the referee stopped the clock, as you can see, with 5 seconds to go, so this is the last play of the half. Farge to Coote. Saints are going to have a go here, because there's nothing to lose. Regan Grace just causes hearts to beat a little faster when he's got the ball in his hands. The kick, though, it's going to be is it a penalty for offside?
Yeah, that's a penalty.
Well, no, he said it's a knock-on, or at worst an accidental offside, which is the same outcome as a knock-on. So therefore, there's a little bit of a questioning of that on the field, but it is not a penalty, it is not offside, and so it will remain at half-time. St Helens 8, Leeds 6, and what a fascinating first half for all sorts of reasons.
Jamie and his time.
Well, Tommy Makins has got a big role to play in the second half, and some of his fancy back colleagues likewise, if Saints are going to steer their way through this Challenge Cup tie. But boy, has it been tough so far in this game. I think a lot of people, a lot of neutrals came in thinking this was going to be St Helens, not by a canter, but reasonably comfortable, simply because of the number of players that Leeds have got missing in the backs and the quality that St Helens have been playing with at the start of this year. But Saints' quality is slightly off, and Leeds' forwards have been doing their job, which is why we have this wafer-thin margin at the start of the second half. St Helens with a restart, Briscoe with a catch, and takes it back, and Leeds start again with ball in hand, and Saints start again having to defend. It's still, though, Brian Noble, it's still a question of, can Leeds get over the line again? Have they got the craft and the guile to get over the line again as well?
Well, that's the big challenge, and I don't think they should shift from what they're doing. First and foremost, they've got to get down to the other end of the field, because that's a challenge in itself, and they've done that with breaks like this, Lehman sniping out of dummy half and picking up an extra 10 and 15 metres. And then they've got to find the dexterity to get over the line if it's not going to be a barge, a quick play the ball and a barge over. So that's going to be a short kick, a short pass, something that they've got in their arsenal. I think the better challenge for me when I'm watching this game is Saints not being too distracted by what Leeds are doing and playing the way that they need to play, probably with a little bit more ball movement, a little bit more execution on their skill, and taking the right passes and the right pass plays.
So a reminder again, we've no scrums at the moment because of COVID issues, but even when scrums return, this will still be this kind of game restart, the play the ball restart when the ball goes over the line. Got an interesting little stat that Jamie Peacock's going to tease you with in just a second. It just shows a reflection of the game, but we'll just watch this set here for St Helens to see how they progress. There's McCarthy Scarsbrook. Roby at dummy half. Parsi again. There he goes, the immovable object.
He's made a big difference since his introduction into the game.
He's looked powerful, hasn't he? Every carry. So Roby, another set of 6 here because they hung on to Parsi too long, which means Saints are set up for an attacking set, and Parsi's involved again and shows some neat footwork here. Never mind the power.
He steps away from a gap. He smashed them round the way and stepped away from a gap. What a player. Love him.
Roby to Lomax. Lomax up to the line, keeping them guessing. But put down. 2 strides away. Saints started the first half in electric fashion. Can they do something similar at the start of the second? McCarthy Scarsbrook with a settler. So Roby's got options. Passes to his right, offers that threat, but it goes to Farge, and now Amor comes pushing forward. It's going to be held up just short. Just short. Couple of tackles to go. Roby again. Farge off the bounce, spinning it back to Wellesby. He's grabbed a hold of, but has untangled himself and almost threads himself through. So last play. Last play. Farge is going to be the man who makes the decision here. And he's going to put the kick in towards that far post. There goes the aerial threat. There might have been a push forward by Coote. There was a knock on, so Leeds get it back. So this stat, Jamie, that you've spotted, that really shows the difference in style between these two teams today.
Yeah, that's right. It's just the number of passes both sides have made. St Helens have made over 120 passes compared to Leeds of just 60, and I think that shows Saints have got both halfbacks playing. The halfbacks are in charge of moving the ball around, creating pressure by moving the ball and passing it to different people. Leeds are choosing a different style, a different way of playing. Lacking halfbacks, they decide to play through the middle. Limited number of passes, trying to create opportunity by running hard through that middle, using Cruz Leeming, using the strength of the players. That's a bad error there.
Classy with a steal.
He's been fantastic, hasn't he, since he's come on. That's what you want from your subs, to come on, make a difference. And every carry he's run's been damaging. Winning the ball by stripping it there's a very smart piece of play.
And interesting on Jamie and the amount of passes and the amount of no passes is Saints' success in that last set was on the back of replicating what Leeds did initially. Passy, McCarthy, Scarsbrook, and then they played like they're doing now.
Here we go. Lomax with a pass, and Grace. Well, has he put a foot in touch? Well, the touch was right there. Decided he hasn't, but Theo Farge, I think, got caught late here. He certainly got caught.
I think this is something they're trying to stamp out of the game as well, isn't it? Last week somebody was sin bin for a similar kind of offence, trying to protect the ball players within our game,
which I think is right. So it'd be interesting to see if he's hit late, or where he's hit him, or how he's hit him. Because Tetevano's not one for bailing out. And let's have a look. So the ball's gone. Yeah, that's late. Not so much illegal, but late. And he was defenceless. What they're saying, what JP's saying for all our viewers is they're pretty defenceless once they pass the ball to these halves, and they need protecting.
I think it's when you're blindsided to it, you kind of relax your body. Having been hit there a couple of times before in my career, you're not expecting it, you're not ready for it, and that makes it do more damage than necessary.
Yeah, that's late.
Farge is just...
oh, he's one tough hombre.
Yeah,
he ain't going to lie down for nothing. He's a tough little dude.
There's a fine line as a forward between putting pressure on a halfback, which you want to do. You don't want him to have a free run, take the ball to the line, make a decision how he wants, but then stepping that thin red line between foul play.
He's off, he's off, and I think it's a red. It is. It's a red card for Zane Tetevano. So right at the start of this second half, Leeds find themselves reduced to 12 men, but you have to say, only themselves to blame.
Yeah, it's late, it's high. The rules have changed recently, how they interpret it. There was sin binnings last week. This one is seen as a sending off. It's a bit of blow for Leeds. He is one of the main players. Tetevano, certainly one of the emotional leaders of the side. But you've just got to be careful as a forward how aggressive you are in those kind of areas.
They're going to go for goal here, are they? Yes, they are. Tommy Mickinson's got ball in hand.
So while we wait, sorry, Dave.
So I was going to say, while we wait for this kick, let's hear from Tanya down there, who's I think got a bit of news for us. Tanya, I can see her lips moving, but I can't hear what she's saying.
Fellas, in line with Jared,
please. We're going to wait now till after Tommy Makinson has attempted this to extend the lead to 4. He's looked pretty good with the boots so far, 2 out of 2. And a double lift here for Saints if he can put it over, because they know they're up against only 12 from here on in. Makinson settles. Look for the fade again here. And over it goes, safely enough. So it is now 10 points to 6. 10.
Yeah, Christian Wolf's verdict on that first half was that they were making things hard for themselves. They were a little bit panicky in trying to score every time they got the ball. They just need to be a bit more patient, and that's how they play their best footy. Richard Agar, well, it seems ironic to say it now, but happy with the intensity and aggression that his side was showing. I'm feeling that the finish to the sets, even without a recognised kicker, could be better. But if they go toe-to-toe, they could get opportunities. And another blow for them. Not surprising that King Vuniyayawa will not be back.
And just building upon what the commentary team was saying about Passy, he's definitely been a game changer. Now that they're one forward down in the pack, Leeds are definitely going to have to make a change. They did something great with Walmsley. They doubled up on him, they tripled up on him, they got numbers to tackle him. Another way of dealing with him, make him make 400 tackles.
Move
Is that possible?
That'd be record.
Just ask Robbie if that's possible on the sideline.
Did he ever make 400 tackles?
Not in his career.
In a season. Yeah. Anyway, St Helens in possession. One of the stats coming into this game, by the way, Leeds have missed more tackles than anybody else this year. 77 tackles in the season so far, coming into the game. So they've improved on that, I would have thought.
There's another penalty here, and this is a difficult period for Leeds.
Tackles they've made. But they've missed fewer than St Helens. But St Helens, you just feel, could really build a dominance in the game from here on in.
Yeah, I think for St Helens, where they struggled in the first half was gaining field position. The reason why they struggled was too many errors within their own half. First 10 minutes of this half, everything's been down in the Leeds 20 that they've been having to defend. They've not tested Leeds' left-hand side yet. I feel if they go down there, there's a chance of them scoring points, scoring tries, particularly now they're down to 12 men. They're loaded up now on the right-hand side. That's the side I'd like to see them attack if I was their coach. Here they come.
Here comes Farge, and now Coates involved as well. It's 2 against 1, but Leeds defence recovers well. Nagama did well to keep that alive as well. And Cook now offering the threat. Roby in. Back to Farge. Spun away to Lomax. Lomax to Wellesby. Wellesby with a flick, and Regan Grace with an open door invitation. Get over there, son, and he did. No trouble whatsoever for a player of his quality. And Saints just edge to a little bit more of a comfort zone. It's now 14 points to 6.
Well, that's the stretch that they put on you. They nearly brought him on the right-hand side as JP was trying to get... If Lachlan Coote had run there, he probably was in himself. That stretches his Leeds defence, already a man down, and then they decide to go right to left on their side. And his quick hands through the ball. 2-on-2 here, and Wellesby does brilliant, attracts the winger.
They've had some wonderful centres at St Helens over the years, haven't they? You know, Jamie Lay and Matt Gidley. Jack Wellesby just excelled at full-back the other week, and that's just an incredible ball from him, from such a young player. I just love watching him play. He's just a natural player. He always seems to make the right decision effortlessly, and he makes complicated, difficult pieces of skill look effortless, and that for me is just a natural talent. Within a natural talented player.
Well, I mean, you'd say he's understudy in every position, wouldn't you? He got a run at fullback last year because of this year because of Coote's absence and Mark Percival absent last year. He got a bigger run than you'd expect. But as you say, he's been outstanding wherever they've asked him to play, and will always remember for that try in the grand final. Yeah, and if you watch him consistently, he turns up at the right place at the right time. Did so in the grand final. Here's Makinson, who's settling himself again here, looking to keep this 100% record. Starts it left, brings it right. This time it's too much of a fade. So it remains at 14 points to 6. Jack Wellesby might not be on the scoreboard yet, but he is making a bit of a name for himself in this game.
Well, he's one-on-one speed there. And just watch Briscoe come in and try and help his centre, because he's done Sutcliffe. He's got him one-on-one speed. He's frightened, so he's going to get over the line by himself. Tom Briscoe has to think, I've got to give him some help here. Regan Grace holds the chalk, holds his sideline, and it's a flick pass. Exceptional skill from Briscoe and speed.
I think it's just it's a great try from a great side. They stretch the Leeds Rhinos side through the right-hand side, cause chaos, move players around in the defensive line, then realise there's going to be opportunities right on the other side of the field, but it takes skill and clarity and everybody knowing in the right position at the right time to get the ball from one side of the field to the other to create a try. That's why Saints have been the benchmark for the last couple of years, is that ability to do that.
Here he comes again with a big carry. Ignatius Parsi.
When the fans come back, I think he's going to be a bit of a fan's favourite, don't you? When he's carrying the ball.
Definitely.
You'll hear the roar every time he gets ball in hand, especially at this place, the TW Stadium of St Helens. Now it's McCarthy Scarsbrook.
I'll tell you what, Coach Wolf's done a good job at half-time revving his forwards up as well. Because irrespective of the send-off, they are far more vigorous this second half in and around the middle than they were in the first.
As with a kick, Luke Briscoe with a catch, close to his own line, but able to return it and taken high, which means that Leeds get a penalty here to help them clear their lines. And Thaler with his fluffy mic, the referee.
I'm all right, that, mate.
Spotting that easily enough.
I think we've seen this with the Saints side, certainly at the start of the season, that they can play in 5-10 minute periods and take games away from the sides that they're playing against. You've just seen that. This last 10 minutes has just been perfect in their execution, in their intent with running the ball, and they've just taken the game away from Leeds. Leeds now have a chance to get football forward back in the game here.
So a chance for them to build inside the Saints half, but Saints defending is pretty solid. Brad Dwyer back on the field, offering a little bit of brightness out of dummy half with Cruz Leeming, who's no slouch in that position, but Dwyer just seems to have a buzz as well when he comes on. Those hookers working between themselves. Donaldson connected to the shoulder of Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
He's lifted their forwards, this Parsi. McCarthy Scarsbrook following his lead. The Saints line's going a lot further forward than it was defensively, that is.
Spun out to this right side for Sutcliffe, but the kick finds only the safe hands of Regan Grace. Saints building again. Here's Wellesby. Desperation for a cup run this year. Farge, Makinson pushing hard again, but thwarted in his ambitions. Back to the middle to McCarthy Scarsbrook, who straightens up, but Leeds defence is working hard. Remember, Leeds down to 12. Saints missing a couple of players as well. Matty Lees with his ankle, Matortier with his head injury, missing for the rest of the game, so they both had a bit of adversity here. Last play, Roby. It's going to be Cooks who gets it away, left-footed. And a bit of a readjustment of position from Broadbent to catch it safely. And runs into the charging Parsi. So Leeds start very much inside their own 10, and they've not got many back behind for that second play the ball, so Luke Briscoe very much a solo effort from him. Dwyer, now Tom Briscoe. Remember his try last year in that Wembley final, which didn't make him the most prolific try scorer in Challenge Cup finals. He got 5 a few years back against Hawkinston Rovers. Pick up by Dwyer. St Helens defence is all over them at the moment. It's another good effort from Wellesby. But they do have the extra tackles, having been given the restart here. Dwyer. Now Cameron Smith. Another of those very durable back row forwards that there seems to be a lot about in the Super League at the moment. Dwyer.
I believe that's the only way Leeds are going to score points today. It's through a late offload, through in and around this area of the field, in the middle, around the 50 area. At some point they're going to have to start to do a little bit more with the kicking game than kicking it 10 metres into touch and handing the ball back to St Helens. They're going to have to really start to build some pressure, and that's not building pressure.
Oh, that's definitely their challenge. They're looking for ideas at the moment. Rhys Martin there's found a sideline. Now, there's two reasons you find a sideline. You're either thinking for ideas and trying to regroup and get some energy to stay at the right hand of the field, i.e. front load your defence, make sure you're on top, because Saints have been on top in that department as well. So they've got to shift the balance somehow here, Leeds, and it's tough because they're down a man and they're restricted in what they can and can't do.
And I think what hurts them with Tetevana going off is he's kind of the emotional leader within the team. He's seen as a guy who inspires everybody else, and when you take off an inspirational character, I think it affects the performances of everybody else in and around that. But that means it's an opportunity for one of the other senior players to inspire the rest of the team.
Oh, this is terrific from Mickinson down that right-hand side. Oh, he's just got a foot in touch. So it's not going to count, but that would have been up there in terms of eye-catching moments of the season so far.
Great little shot.
Not just brushed the whitewash.
Great little short side play. Does he touch the whitewash? He hasn't yet. No, he hasn't yet, Mr. Touchy. I'm going to take him on the outside. Does he now? Does he now? Does he now? Yeah, he does. Oh, he's in touch. Oh, he's in touch.
We don't hold his hand. Come on, get away. We're on the playground. Okay, let's go.
But a winger who goes for the outside, don't you love to see that?
No, not as a coach. Stay on the field. The field's wide enough. Stop toying with those sidelines. Stay on the field, man.
As a player in the middle, you're just thinking, right, another set of six to defend again here. Thanks, Tommy.
They're trying to steal it off Broadbent. Oh, and Broadbent's keeping a hold, and I think he's having a little go at McCarthy Scarsbrook there. The young fella, 19-year-old fullback. Dwyer, another set of six. You'll have heard from the hooter. So Leeds can build inside the Saints half. They trail by 8, which you're not entirely au fait with the scoring in rugby league. It means that Leeds have to score a couple of tries to get themselves back in front. So a 2-score margin at the moment. Dwyer, it was flat. Smith across the line to Luke Briscoe, who steps inside Nagama, but there are more waiting. But they're progressing neatly enough here, Leeds. Smith is dropping it back again. A little run from O'Connor, who's 15 away.
At some point, I'd like to see Leeds with Cruz Leeman and Brad Dwyer on at the same time. I think they need that. Whether one of those plays in the halves, I think it will give them a bit more movement, make them not quite as predictable as they are at the moment.
Yeah, they've both got quick feet and are dangerous, so you have to pay attention to them first and foremost with ball carriers. They'll be rolling in and around the ruck. I think the key to that is finding a couple of wins. So for our viewers, a quick play the ball, so the ruck speed needs to be a bit quicker for both those players to be effective.
Well, they're going lateral here, St Helens, and that's always a threat, even from inside the 20. But Leeds close down the imminent danger. Wellesby, talk about young players. He's only 20, and he's had it stolen off him. But maybe 2 in the tackle. Or is he going to?
Is he saying he's blown up? Blown up?
Play the ball, where do you want it?
I don't think he's saying that, Brian.
Yeah, I don't think there's a word such as that. So is he saying there were 2 in the tackle and he's blown his whistle? What I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Just like play on when you're kids, basically.
So Saints will get it back safely enough. Leeds, clutching hearts for a moment there, thought they'd given themselves an opportunity, but they've got the hard work to do again here, because Saints will come at them in the shape of Amor in that first instance. And just trying to grapple him, grab him, pull him down. And eventually he topples, but they took too long about it, so Saints start the set again. Referee resets him, another set of 6 to go. And there's the first. Roby, now Parsi, rolling it forward.
Hold it, lads, wait, 2.
Roby, Lomax. This is Joel Thompson. So Saints rolling nicely inside Leeds territory again. Lomax, Parsi, bumpers up, and an offload. He's got an offload in his game as well. Here's Thompson with a step. And Leeds defenders are all over him. Roby, the old fella, back in there, the fittest man in Super League. James Roby would not be an exaggerated claim. 35 years of age, but my goodness, he rolls and rolls. Farge puts the kick high. Luke Briscoe's underneath it. Tommy Mickinson up there to challenge, and it's just punched out of play by Alex Mellor. There's a decision to make on what happened first. It's Saints who get the ball back again here.
I just think Saints have upped their intensity totally in this second half. I think we've seen that in the first couple of rounds of Super League, their ability to do that, to take it up a couple of gears, and the other sides just can't compete when they decide to do that against signs of a high quality benchmark side.
And it looks like being another game where they do not concede more than one try. You know, scoring one try against St Helens at the moment is an achievement.
And I think that defence kept them in the game in the first half when they were making all those unforced errors. Couldn't get out of their own 20 for 10-15 minutes. It was that desire and commitment.
Speed of pick-up from Roby, and he's wrestled his way over. The referee's not entirely sure. Let's see what he says on the field. He's going to offer it up. He thinks it's a try, so let's hear from video ref for the first time today.
Okay, so tackle one, and the live decision is a try on field. So I'm just looking at the grounding now. So Roby's in possession. Still in possession. Still got the ball there, it's fighting towards the line. And then, have you got something close up just on that one? So I just need to determine if his hand does come off the ball and where the ball is actually put down. So, fighting towards the line. Yeah, I can't see anything on that one. I'm going to go to the first one's probably the best. Yeah, so Roby's still got possession of the ball at that point. Still got possession of the ball. And that's separation, and he'll lose possession of the ball, and it's short of the line. So I've got a decision. It's going to be no try, knock on. You're on screen, Ben.
So no try, one of those rare occasions when
no try, it's a knock on.
James Roby doesn't quite get what he intended.
He was giving it the big Oscar appearance, wasn't he, then? The nomination. Yeah, of course I got that down. Look at me. I'm happy. I scored a try.
Well, he's the only survivor from Saints' last Challenge Cup win back in 2008, isn't he, James Roby?
He's an incredible player, isn't he? You know what a player he has been over the years in Super League, the past nearly 20 years. Just absolutely 9 out of 10 every single week. Just so consistently world class.
It's a real underlining of how much quality there is in Sean Wayne's England side, that he's not even guaranteed to be in the squad, let alone the starting team in that 9 position. Robbie Hunterford, what do you say?
A bit of a telltale sign. Momentum has shifted back towards St Helens. Big giveaway is when the St Helens forwards are carrying the ball. They're getting their noses on the ground, as Nobby used to call it. Elbows are going down, knees are going down, and they're getting quick play the ball. Just give James Roby the opportunity to jump out of acting half really quickly. In the first 40 minutes, Leeds Rhinos were making it really mucky in the middle of the park, tiring them out and keeping them upright, making it really slow and controlling the play the ball speed. Now it is shifted. St Helens, it's all going their way.
James Donaldson is all patched up. He's got a big footsie bear bandage around his head. There he goes. So he's okay to continue. Takes something worse than that to get him off the field. And Leeds begin to roll forward again. 14-6. They survived that latest scare, the Roby opportunity that wasn't quite grounded. So it remains still only 8 points in it, in a cup tie with 21 minutes to play. And certainly if Leeds score next, it will be game on. And here's Dwyer, who can make things happen.
It is this midfield position, I think, where it's going to happen for Leeds. Not when they get down into the Saints 20, but again the kicks. I feel that's the kick they've been told to do by Richard Agar, but I think they need some leadership with on the pitch now. Look, we need to change plan. That's not how we're kicking now. We need to kick to build pressure.
Yeah, they need to kick to compete now for either a result, either field position or an error. I don't think a sideline helps them. So just for our viewers, a sideline lets both teams reorganise and a controlled restart in the middle of the field, or whether St Helens would want it. And that will suit Saints with 2 forwards down.
And I think that's where your halfbacks come into it, isn't it? You know, if you're new to the game, understanding what halfbacks do. Halfbacks dictate that. They decide where the kicks go. They're generally going to be the great kicker of the team. And how you end sets is just absolutely critical if you want to build pressure.
Who takes on that role now in that lead side that's out there? Who would you be looking to for leadership on that?
I think some of this comes down to Rhys Martin. Rhys Martin's the TNG captain, Papua New Guinean captain. I think it's an opportunity for him to get the game by the scruff of the neck. So
offside against the Leeds defence. It was a little too keen to get there.
But You have to remember as well, Leeds have got 10 players out before we even start this game. The last one of the major players has been sent off. And this is when you're behind in a game and it's difficult. You're trying to grind your way back into it, that you look for your leaders, and generally your leaders are in the half-back. The brains are certainly there. We've still got some brawn out there, but we're questioning the brains, I think.
So St Helens offered a platform again, and Walmsley is one to take full advantage. Roby to Farge, passes on his inside, but it's going to go back for Thompson, who runs hard. And Roby's waiting to deliver again. This is Parsi from close range and getting them even closer. St Helens again with that real threat here. Roby to Farge, the little Frenchman with a skip, and now Lomax, the arch schemer. What a pass that is, and what a finish to add on to the end of it from Regan Grace. But Johnny Lomax, in a twinkling of a moment, spotted exactly what was needed and delivered a skill level to produce that try-scoring moment for Regan Grace.
Well, watch this and wonder. We've been questioning Saint's skill on the touchline, on the outside, certainly in the first half, their execution. Johnny Lomax gets the ball and wham! Watch this. What's the speed and the accuracy of this ball that he finds here? Boom! Cuts out both the centre and the winger. Easy finish in return for Regan Grace. What a ball from Lomax.
There's a number of different decisions to make there, and more often than not at the moment, Johnny Lomax picks the right decision. You know, should he run, should he kick, should he do the short ball, or is it the long ball out wide to Regan Grace? That's the one he favours. It's the right option, and in he goes at the corner, just clinical, ruthless, great decision making by Lomax. Reason why he's in the England squad at the moment.
That's got to be instinct, hasn't it? I mean, he's not got time to think there.
I think it's just repetitive practice over and over again. We repeat these scenarios within training, so it becomes second nature. It's muscle memory, and he can sum up that situation within a split second. Is it myself dummying? Is it the short ball, or is it the long ball, or is it the kick behind? This time he's decided in that split second. It's a long ball over to Grace, made the right decision.
Whatever it is, it's fantastic to watch, isn't it? It's lovely on the eye. And Regan Grace had the real quality to make sure that he took full advantage as well. 2 tries for the day for Regan Grace. He's going to be starring for the Welsh side in the World Cup this year. And the Welsh coach, John Keir, will be alongside a Welsh legend in Jonathan Davis for our second match this afternoon. Catalan Dragons against Wakefield. Tommy Makinson with a lovely kick from the sidelines as well. So 20 points to 6. St Helens now lead. They aren't there yet, but the finishing line, you'd say, is in sight.
Yeah, it is for this side, St Helens. I can't see, given how well they've defended so far this season, so far in the second half, I can't see them giving up 3 more tries. Leeds have got a chance. I think they need to chance their arm a little bit now. Leeds, they need to stop kicking the ball into touch, try and push the ball a little bit with offloads in the middle. There's nothing left to lose here in this game, down to 12 men, missing several key players.
Well, if this wasn't a knockout competition and Coach Agard had a wee bit more time, I think phase 2 of this strategy would have been some offloads and a bit more expansion in relation to moving Saints around. Like you said, no leaders on the field, probably Reece Martin, a lot of young kids on the field. They've accomplished their task today, probably beyond everybody's dreams, and been in the game for long periods.
Certainly within the first half, I thought the first half was a real competition. I think in the second half, St Helens' performance was outstanding before the sending off.
I think I've just seen young Gannon going out there, I'm mistaken. Anyway, here's Parsi with a wonderful charging run and has support as well from McCarthy.
He's just been awesome. I've loved watching this guy today. He's been one of my highlights of the game.
And here comes Lomax again. It's another long one, but this time it's a forward pass.
Well, you mentioned it there, and I mentioned it before the long pass. He's changed the game for Saints, that guy. He came on when they were getting bashed in around the middle by Leeds.
There was last weekend in Super League a fundraising weekend for a great player, Mossy Masoi, who played number 10 for St Helens, and he reminds me a lot of Mossy Masoi, the way he carries the ball, the way he's just huge man running as hard as he possibly can, just causing carnage in the defence.
He was gone here, look at that. He's brushed about 3 off and he's off. He gives it to Louis McCarthy-Scarswell, who's slower than him. How's LMS got there?
We're here.
Wow. What what a great sight he's been today. Not if you're a Leeds fan or in particular a Leeds player.
Here's the Lechki.
He's on Lechki.
I can do it too.
The Gdansk born trot forward, and there's not many of them to the pound. But he does qualify for England at the end of the year. Here's Reece Martin. Morgan Gannon is on, by the way. We'll hopefully get to see a bit from him as well. The young 17-year-old, of whom an awful lot is expected.
He comes from good pedigree. His father was a very good player, firebrand of a player.
He's just astounded how quick his heart's beating at the moment. He's just standing to the left-hand side. Penalty here for Leeds. Here is Donaldson.
Come on, boys! Wait, lads.
What a position here. It's going to be Matt Pryor who drives it and keeps on driving as well. Brad Dwyer runs into dummy half, from Pryor to Dwyer, and it's a try. Well, he does often add that electricity, that bolt of lightning that Brian Noble was talking about earlier. And there we have it, Brad Dwyer from dummy half. And is it over-optimistic from Leeds' point of view to say they might be back in the competition?
There's always a chance. There's always a chance. I think it's a great try from Brad Dwyer. He's well known for that. It's surprising that he managed to score from that. Most defences, I think Saints will be disappointed with the conceding a try from that. It's kind of his trademark play within the game, within the competition.
That's a coach killer. Because all week the coach is saying he's going to run from dummy half. It's in his contract. He's going to run from dummy half. He's good at a dummy half. You've got to get low. You've got to get your equipment in place. And for him to score a try like that, Coach Wolf will be disappointed. But that's as much about the prowess of Brad Dwyer. He knows when to run.
I think it's just a warning sign for St Helens. They'll probably thought we're in the next round already. You just can't switch off right now.
Lewis Dodd is coming onto the field as well here. Kyle Amor coming back, and Parsi and Roby coming off. So a little switch in personnel here. Lewis Dodd's another one that people are chatting about excitedly. 19 years of age. Scrum half. Tony Makinson to get things started. 20 points to 12. 2 tries the difference. Opportunity might still not for Leeds, but would still make St Helens very much favourites.
Yeah, you would still say Saints are favourite, and I think a great thing about St Helens and the success they're having at the moment, it's just the amount of young players they've got that have come through the academy that are featuring at the moment.
There was young Gannon on that last carry, the 17-year-old. Elevated from scholarship into the first grade. Missing out a couple of stages. That's how highly Leeds think of him. Martin. This is Donaldson. The holders not giving up their prize without a fight. Dwyer, another lively run. He's left the ball behind. The referee says play on. It's Mellor now who carries on the gallop. There's one play to go here. Luke Briscoe back towards the middle. The kick is from Cameron Smith to the corner, but it's a poor one. And Lachlan Coote can bring it away.
Do you know what? And that's been the thing that's let Leeds' strategy down. And for all the right reasons as well. You have some non-kickers there that are in charge of the kicking game. And the end sets, the dexterity you need in those kind of kicks there. But there's no criticism of Leeds. That's just that they just not had quite the skill set to get what they wanted in that part of the field.
Here's young Dodd. This is older Walmsley with the carry. But again, a little look to his left, summing up the options. He's going to go for Amor. Amor, the big prop. 5 gone, 1 to go. So Farge will be thinking about kicking here. More than that, he executes with a kick downfield. The cross goes Broadbent, catching on the full. Saints' defence is honest and efficient.
Wait here, please, boys. Keep going, James, and wait. Good.
Here's Tom Briscoe. One of St Helens' biggest fans is... well, I was going to say, I've been given the wrong information. Somebody told me that Johnny Vegas was here, but that was...
I think he was just a look-alike.
Here comes Dwyer. Dwyer with a run. So Johnny Vegas will be watching, I'm sure, because he's a big St Helens fan, but he's not there. There's Mellor. And it's a penalty here for Leeds. Well, there are still 11 minutes to go, which is a long time in a match like this. So Leeds will just feel a little inflated here.
Let's remember as well, Leeds are the holders, right? The holders of the cup. They need to show some desire, some will and some want to try and win this game, regardless whether they've got 10 players out and down to 12 men. This is what makes the Challenge Cup so special. As a player trying to win when you're behind, when everything's against you, and the other team and nobody else can expect you to win. Finding that desire.
Oh, Donaldson taken high, so a penalty right in front of the sticks.
So Coach Peacock, 2 points or play on?
Play on, doctor. What do you think?
Well, it takes them all the time to get down this end of the field, so I'd play on, because you do need a 6 in this equation. But you get 2 points, you're only a score out.
Wait there. You can't just then decide you're not going for goal. Wait there. 10
Encouraged by the fact that they have got over that St Helens line twice, which is more than anybody else has managed in the last 5 matches. But Saints revert to type in being very strong in defence. That's hit hard by Mellor.
There you go. Is Brad Dwyer going to run? Is he going to make the difference?
Then it was Gannon, it was young Gannon who took that in. Now it's going to be Alechki who started things off for Leeds. But he can't finish off on that occasion. Dwyer stands and waits. They're ready for him to have a go from dummy half. He's not going to do. He's going to lay it out for Pryor, but they're ganging up on him as well. This is really good work from St Helens defence. Really muscling up and showing determination. Pryor has to play. Dwyer seen the gap at the back. Well, they spent so much time locking up the big man, they forgot about the little fella. And over goes Dwyer. It's a question mark because the referee's put it up there.
Live decision is a try.
But the man who makes things happen might just have made something happen again.
I think today we've seen 2 bench players make 2 great differences for both sides, right? Passing for St Helens, and Dwyer's just been electric coming off the bench there.
Let's hear from the video referee again.
Still in possession. He's up at that point. Have you got anything, another angle on that, please, mate? On that, he definitely maintains possession of the ball. It's just where he ends up. So he's still in possession there. Still in possession. The ball looks like it could be down at that point. If you can just, goes real slow on this one. So the ball's still up at this point. The ball remains up, and Dwyer still has possession. Still has possession. They go really slow there. Yeah, this one please, mate, yeah. Still has possession. I can't really see the ball. If you can go back on the first angle you showed me, please. So bearing in mind that a live call is a try and they have to have sufficient evidence to overturn it. I know he still has possession. Still has possession. Doesn't really show me the line at that point. Put the first angle you showed me, please. Yeah, still in possession. Going towards the line. Yeah, just carry on rolling that, please. Carry on rolling that angle. Yeah, given the live decision is a try, I don't have sufficient evidence to say that ball doesn't touch the line. So, Ben, it's going to be confirming your live call, mate. It's going to be a try. You're on the screen.
Well, there you go, the explanation. Because he offered it up as a try, the benefit of the doubt goes with the attacking team on that occasion. And Brad Dwyer has just dragged Leeds back into the Challenge Cup.
Well, that's Leeds' best play of the afternoon. One in for a Brad Dwyer. Why not? They get over the line. Whatever you want to do, that's our set play. One in for a Brad Dwyer, and it pays off.
But this is what we want, right? Going into the last 8 minutes, 2 points between both sides. 2 sides playing completely different brands of up the league.
That passes stat is getting even more exacerbated, by the way. I think it's 215 passes to 101 now. The Saints are still doubling the number of movement of the ball than Leeds, but look at the scoreboard at the moment, 20 points to 18. There's a worried coach just at this stage. His side have the lead with 8.5 to go. They have that one-man advantage, of course, which they've had for quite a while now, back since the 45th minute. But Leeds somehow are still hanging in there. Can St Helens do the job from here?
Right now, you would say it's an incredibly brave performance from the Rhinos to be missing 12 players down to 12 men and only 2 points down against the champions.
Dwyer in a dummy half again. He's a Wigan lad. A Wigan lad is Brad Dwyer. So he'll be enjoying that moment for more than just a Leeds reason. And here he goes again. 10 short of the halfway line. Cameron Smith is at dummy half. Leeds begin to move it to that left-hand side if they can.
A lot of belief here, Leeds.
Last play in the set.
Wind in their sail.
Up it goes. Well, too far from Cameron Smith. Again, an underlining of they've not got the proper kickers in the team. And a return from Lachlan Coote. And he's kept it alive. And here comes Makinson, who's seen a bit of a gap there, but it closes quickly. And he's pinned to the ground. Nerves abound on both sides here. St Helens thought they had it in the back pocket. But they don't yet. Parse's back on again. He came on after Dwyer scored that try. It was almost a response from St Helens. We need a bit more down the middle. And here's Walmsley talking about down the middle. Leeds, I think, we're trying to steal the ball there. Still a couple of tackles. Amor sizing him up, shuffling. Right foot to left. Southpaw to orthodox, and then pushing in. And Dodds at dummy half needs good delivery here. To whoever's going to kick the ball, it's Lachlan Coote. It hits a Leeds leg. Reece Martin, was he playing at it because he was advancing? Or does the referee say it's not played at? Not played at, so Leeds get the ball back again.
Yeah, it was good from Saints trying to get their way back into the game, create some momentum, finish the set and finish with a good kick. Unlucky there from Lachlan Coote, they bounced off Reece Martin. Good start for Leeds here, just on their foot. This is where they'll win it. This is where they can make and cause some damage against the Saints in the middle. Maybe a late offload or Dwyer again. Just give it to Dwyer. End of it.
Dwyer, it works all the time. Why change? What's wrong with them? Just got to give him some ruck speed. If somebody can get their noses down and play the ball quickly, it'll give him a hell of a chance to make 15, 20 metres, which puts Leeds on the front foot. Once you're Saints' half,
he's lost the ball. Reece Martin has lost the ball. And St Helens celebrate like a side who might just have scored a try, because that gives them possession back inside their opponent's half, and perhaps more importantly helps them roll the clock down a bit now.
Yeah, who would say? I think it's a reflection of what Leeds have done, that Saints are looking to get rid of this last 5 minutes rather than play this last 5 minutes.
I think you two have to choose a man of the match today as well, so get your heads thinking caps on as well in these late stages. There's been a few eye-catching performances. Dodds gathered in by Parse. This is a position from which St Helens could win the game here. He's going to be dragged down, in fact knocked down. He wrestles and keeps to his feet, and Dodds goes to Parse, who scoops it up in the air. Amor's battling for it, the ball's knocked on. Leeds no advantage, so
still in it Leeds.
It was desperate defence from Leeds, and rightly so. Down to the last 5 minutes now, trying to hold on to the Challenge Cup. They are the holders.
There's an injury here as well as that Amor who stayed down. Needs a bit of treatment. Both sides, I think, rather grateful of getting a bit of time out here. It is Kyle Amor. Time out and oxygen back in the lungs. How quick is the recovery on the field, Jamie? When you're in this position, when you're running on empty, how quick before you're feeling normal again?
I think in this game it's about desire. When you get down to the last 5 minutes, it's about pushing past where you feel you're at physically and mentally, saying, right, I can do this, I can go again, I want to get through to the next round, I want to just give every little ounce and bit of energy I've got and try and inspire the team. Somebody has to run the ball very, very hard here, create momentum, create opportunity for the Rhinos if they're going to go down the other end and score.
So Leeds through Aletsky, looking for distance. Saints, their entire line, looking for resistance. Briscoe, Tom Briscoe, over the 30, and on they go. Dwyer picks up again. Back to Martin. Martin's last carry was a loose one. This time he keeps a hold tightly. Dwyer comes in. They've numbered up on his right-hand side, but a step by Broadbent. Back towards the middle. There was a run coming from Miller, but he couldn't find the pass. So now it's Dwyer. Last play in the set. Martin sticks it high. Broadbent underneath it. There's nobody really putting pressure on him. And that makes it, Coote, and that makes it a nice, easy take for Lachlan Coote. And Saints are just happy to get through a set here. Run the clock down. Regan Grace. There won't be too many passes in this set, you wouldn't think. Dodd left to Thompson. Thompson with a challenging effort as well. Leeds trying to get that ball back.
I think that new rule makes it interesting at this part of the game, the ability to strip the ball one-on-one when other players have been able to see somebody.
Whoa! Like that.
It's a big effort from Alex Sutcliffe. Wormsley.
Move! You went tackle back of me. Do not go early. Don't go early. Wait.
St Helens through Dodd from dummy half back to Farge. Over goes Broadbent. What a kick that was. What a kick, and what a response from Saints defence. And that's the kind of moment that can win a cup tie.
That's why they are where they're at. That's why they're the benchmark for Super League, that ability to absorb the pressure, complete the set. Now, a wonderful kick and kick chase at the end of it. It's just every player, I feel, just knows what they're doing for the Saints side consistently. Everybody knows their role. There's real clarity.
So it means that Leeds is carry away. He's made all the tougher. Mellor down, Dwyer picks up. Leeming's on the field as well, as is Martin. But St Helens are doing well, but Leeds are keeping it alive. Back it comes to Cameron Smith. Tackle him, and then the kick back for Grace, but again it leads to nothing in terms of opportunity for Leeds. It means that Regan Grace is through, and Regan Grace will run away here and take on his man, and left and right, but Leeds have him closed down. That looked like it could have been game over, but Leeds somehow still hang on. Coote away over to that right hand side, and here comes Nagama. Nagama chopped down, and a dive for the corner. And Tommy Makinson will score the match-winning try. There's not an elaborate celebration because it has been such tough labour for Saints today, but they are through to the next round now, and they finally made sure.
Well, Grace with the break. They just couldn't recover Leeds. They've put everything into this game, this Leeds Rhinos outfit. And then it was just a shift play from left to right. As soon as he got out there, they were so tired, this Leeds scrambled defence, that it was just about Makinson in the end. Naguama finds a little bit of space on the run at the end, and he plops the ball down Tommy Makinson to surely finish this game if he makes the kick.
Great to watch Regan Grace running, isn't it?
Full flight, but again, the scramble defence from Leeds. They get back. They understand how close they are. They understand that they're the Challenge Cup holders, but here's the left to right shift through all three halves, and then Naguama takes the line on and flicks the ball to Tommy Makinson, and it was pretty decent skill in itself, that last play.
They're a wonderful side to watch, St Helens. They're absolutely wonderful, the skill they have, both on an individual and I think on a collective level as well. I think it's the two married together that make them so good and enjoyable to watch. For me today, I think both sides have been incredibly committed. I think in terms of commitment, you couldn't have asked for any more from Leeds. But I think Saints have showed that level of commitment as well in times when the game was going against them. I think at the beginning of this game, most people were just thinking about how many points would Saints win by it. And I think we've been served up with a great game that's gone down to the last couple of minutes.
This will be the last kick of the game. Last kick of the game from Tommy Makinson. You'd think the clock has stopped with 19 seconds to go, but there won't be time for Leeds. There might not even be the will for Leeds to get back to the halfway line to restart, because they know the contest is over. Makinson with a kick. Look at that. Look at that. Over it goes. So 26 points to 18. Job done by him and his teammates. Sean Long, once a Saint, now on the Leeds coaching bench alongside Richard Agar, knows it's not going to be their day today, but they will be mightily proud of the effort this made up and put together Leeds side have put in. And it's going to be Saints who go through. Well, again, not a great emotional response from the coach, Christian Wolf, because he knows it's been tough today. Makinson with another huge leap, just making sure there's no lingering danger at the end, and he won't have time to play it. The hooter will sound. Well, if it is to be Saints' year this year, after 13 years of not lifting this glittering prize, they will look back on the first test they had in the very first round they competed as being as tough as they come.
Boy, oh boy, was that tough. There's some bruises out there, trust me, Dave, and credit to both teams. They served up what a Leeds and St Helens teams should serve up for different reasons. Leeds will take a heck of a lot of it. It won't stop the hurt of them being the Challenge Cup holders that are now knocked out.
So there is going to be a new name on the cup this year, Jamie.
Yeah, and I think good sides or great sides can win ugly. Challenge Cup is one of those games where sometimes the performance has to go out the window. It's just all about making sure you're one of the balls in the draw for the next round. And Saints were able to do that. They overcome a poor first half to nail a second half and come away against a valiant, I think, courageous Rhino side who played as well as they possibly could under trying circumstances.
So it's St Helens who are through. They've beaten Leeds by 26 points to 18.
We'll have plenty of reaction and analysis when we switch over to BBC Two. And Jody, it's interesting with Leeds, isn't it? Because you think they played with 12 men. There's lots of them to be proud about, and yet there's lots that they think they might have just left out there when it came to attacking and causing Saints more problems.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think they could have done more. We spoke about end of sets were just not good enough, really, for Leeds. Yes, they didn't have the recognised kickers necessarily, but that's nothing to say they couldn't put the pressure on. There was no kick chase, there was no desire to really get on the end of those, and when you've got the quality of Grace and Makinson and Coote at the back, you really need to challenge them.
Sean, very quickly, you know, as Jamie said in commentary, Saints have won ugly, and sometimes you need to do that if you're going to win the Challenge Cup.